Hi, my name is Morten Limborg, and I am Associate Professor and PI at the Center for Evolutionary Hologenomics. I lead the group called Applied Hologenomics. So hologenomics to me is really taking a step back and then actually revisiting an actually quite old theory, a way of thinking about the world. And before we go into the theory, just imagine that we know that life emerged on our planet some 3.7 billion years ago. But we also know that the first ever known multicellular organisms that eventually became humans didn't occur until like 500 million years ago. This means that like microbes, they preceded the multicellular descendants by 3 billion years. So obviously the entire world and the ecosystems as we know it have been created and shaped and dominated by microorganisms. So it means that all the multicellular organisms, including us, have then much later on evolved in a microbial world. If you really want to understand then how all these fascinating multicellular organisms like humans and animals on plants have evolved into the biodiversity we know today, you need to consider them as a holobiont. You need to consider that multicellular organism as a host that is living with and in an environment that includes a lot of essential microorganisms. I was trained in just classic population genetics, and I did my PhD, my master's PhD, and my first postdoc doing population genetics and then genomics, but always on fish species, as that is really my big passion and what really brought me into studying biology in the first place. When I moved back to Denmark, I was fortunate to be offered a desk in Tom Gilbert's group where I could sit and continue my work. And then one day, Tom came to my office and I was saying, yeah, I'm going to do some genomics, but I'm going to study like disease resilience and so on in fish. And he said, well, you should throw in some metagenomics in there. That's kind of the new thing. Then I started including metagenomics and later hologenomics in my proposals, studying fish fitness and performance. And the rest is kind of history. 6 years ago, and that kind of initial seeded idea have now evolved into a myriad of different projects that I'm leading, including projects called HappyFish, HoloFish, HoloFood, HappyFish, and so on. So you can see there's kind of a fishy denominator, but yeah, it's basically was combining my own and staying true to my own research interests, but then spiced up with Tom Gilbert's pioneering thinking. Yeah, so what really fascinates me the most about hologenomics is that it's just like we have a different vehicle than most other research groups in the world today, but we're driving on the very same track. So basically, the types of research questions that we address in the center, even though it's like very basic evolutionary questions, how did this species adapt to this diet, or how can we boost the health and disease resilience in farmed animals? We're addressing the exact same questions as most other research groups in this world, but we're doing it in a very unique way by applying this very conceptual and basic theoretical framework that is hologenomics. So we're offering like a very new way of tackling questions that have been addressed with the very, very similar approaches for decades. Yeah, so as you heard, there's more than one project going on in our group in applied hologenomics. So I do a lot of project management, making sure that the skilled researchers and people working in the group, they they have all the resources they need to do the best possible job in their projects. However, we have just submitted a new proposal where in the future we are hoping to continue some of the work that we have done in HoloFood, looking at the potential of using blue mussels as an alternative, as a new alternative and sustainable resource for fish feed or animal feed in general. So the study subjects in our group of applied hologenomics are mainly fish holobionts, and both those fish that swim in the open ocean or those that swim in an aquarium or a cage. One fun fact, when I was in 7th grade at the age of 13, 14, and I won a large competition in a store in my town, Roskilde, for the best joke. And you need to look me up by the coffee machine if you want to hear the joke.